This meeting is being recorded.
Okay, and then I'm going to share my screen. So morning to everyone who's jumped on. Thank you. Makes it worthwhile when there are people listening. So I actually started to set up just to save a little bit of time. I'll see if I can, put you guys down the bottom. That doesn't really help me. But anyway, I'll work around that. So we're looking, if you look at this box here, we're looking at 4 pairs this morning. Those are the 4 pairs. If we did this session in the afternoon, it would be 4 different Forex pairs, and of course my favorite, gold. And just put a note there to say that if you look in guide 8 in the Ninja Facebook group, there's a workbook. It's been updated recently, so you might want to take a second look, and there's at least 1 video, possibly 2 videos in there. So let me first of all start by doing the disclaimer. I'm not a licensed financial advisor. I'm not licensed to give financial advice. I'm just a member of the Ninja group who is trying to help others understand this strategy. If you take any trades, you must analyze the trade for yourself. There's that saying, if you give a man a fish, you feed him for a day. If you teach him to fish, you feed him for life. It's the latter that I'm trying to achieve today. So that's my disclaimer. Then I need to look at the news fairly quickly. There's nothing, I looked earlier before I jumped on. It's all pretty low-level news. There's some Australian news at 7:30, but it's low-level, yellow folder. And there's some European news coming up at 8:15, but we'll be done by then. There's some red flag European news at 10 a.m., but nothing in particular to worry about there. If I look at the MyFX book, it's more or less the same. Australian low-level news in 25 minutes. Quite a few European low levels and a couple of red flag European at 8:15, 8:30. So there might be some people holding back for that European news at 8:15. But that generally doesn't affect us greatly in this strategy, because this strategy is all about the handover from the Sydney market to the European and London markets, and there's a bit of manipulation goes on, and that's what we're going to take advantage of. So what I do, I normally just highlight the 6 a.m. to 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. Time period. You don't need to do that if you don't want to. It just focuses my eye on the time period that I'm looking at. And then I put a couple of lines. I put a green line up at the top and a red line at the bottom, but I cannot place those until this 6 o'clock candle is finished. So that 6 o'clock candle is the main focus of my attention right now. And I've already set those up on the 4 pairs. So GBP NZD is there. We've got GBP AUD there already set up. The lines are not in position just yet. We need to wait until the end of that candle. And we've got Euro NZD, and we've got Euro AUD. So those are the 4 pairs. I can already see I'm going to have to move that one out of the way, but not a problem. We put those in place at 6:15. Right, so I did get a question yesterday, which I've got a few minutes, so I'll just try and answer. I've already answered the question for the person who asked it, but it just reminded me I ought to point something out to the rest of you, because you might be having the same problem. It was in connection with this, it's called a favourites bar. which I've got tucked away at the bottom of my screen. And the things that I use for this, I've got this triangle thing that I use, the trend line thing and the text thing that I've used this morning. And the question was, how do you get that on your screen? Well, basically, if you go down this left-hand column here, if there's anything that you want on your favorites bar, if you click on the icon next to it, and if, let's say, you want to have a upward pointing arrow, if you click on that, no, that's not a good example actually. Let me just let me get rid of that. I'll use a trend line. This is the trend line tools. If you click on that, you get a drop-down menu. Now I've already got the gold star against the trend line, which is here. If I wanted, say, to put a horizontal ray, you see if I hover over that, it changes to a grey background with a black arrow on. If I click on the if I click on this black star, it becomes a gold star, and it also appears here in my favorites. So I don't need to do all this every time. I can just use the favorites. And then if you want to tuck it out of the way, I normally just put it along the bottom there. So that's our favorites toolbar. You can get any of those tools in this left-hand column onto your favorites toolbar. It just saves a few seconds. Right, okay, so we've got a few minutes to wait. What can I show you? I'll show you my backtesting results. I've been keeping a record of, this is for gold, and I've kept a record with the results of the trade. You know, each day, the results of the trade. I keep a snapshot, a screenshot of the actual trade. I'll just show you that one there. This is from yesterday. And that shows me that what happened yesterday. So if you were involved, this is the afternoon session, and as you can see, there was quite a push there. We were above the green line. We had a ninja up, and it shot up. It went up about 150 pips. So I've kept that record for quite a number of days. Those are all consecutive, Monday to Friday. If you take off number 1 and number 2, when we get down to the bottom, so I've done 71 days of back testing, and every day we've had a win on gold, apart from that day, the 25th of April, which was a no trade. So that really is what convinced me to do this strategy on gold. I haven't kept such an accurate record of the other pairs, but I've been posting the results, I've been posting the screenshots in Discord, and you can see that there's been not a win every day, but most days we get a winner. Right, okay. So I'm going to go.
Rich. Yeah, sorry, mate. Yeah, I just wanted to mention about that yesterday, where it spiked right up on gold. I got in just after the ninja up, and I think the next candle turned red. It turned red. It started to go down a little bit. It dipped down, so I pulled out about 2 pips in profit. Just as I've done that, obviously, as the next candle changed, because I was on 5-minute chart, that thing shot right up like that. I just couldn't believe it yesterday, you know. Yeah,
that's the thing about gold. It does move really fast, and it also moves a long way, or it can move a long way, and that's one of the reasons I like this.
Yeah, I think it was about 150 pips that it flew up, something like that.
Yeah, it was well over 100, 150, I guess. But
yeah,
but you know, it is very volatile, and I mean, we have.
I mean, I probably played it safe, but it was annoying to see that just as I pulled out, then it shot up like that, you know, because I was in for a buy. So
it always happens, Nick.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just gonna have a very quick look at gold yesterday. That's the that was my chart for yesterday on the volume profile. So I was looking at, this was the previous day's volume. It was quite tight. It was quite a small volume area, but can you see how it went down all morning and then it shot up, and that was at half past 1. It shot up, but then interestingly, if you'd been following gold as I was for part of the day, it actually returned almost back to where it started that big move, and it actually, at the minute, it's actually lower down than it was yesterday.
Yeah, it flew. I mean, it flew all the way up to the POC and what's the name? Even outside the like the value high area, like, you know, just a bit outside that.
Yeah, it almost, I had a feeling it might continue up to the 800 MA, but it didn't. But it has actually come back. It's actually, you know, if you look at that trend, it's gone all the way down.
Yeah, it came back bang on though, 1803, where, you know, it should have been. So
yes,
it's fascinating what it does.
Yeah. Okay, so we're coming up to it's 13 minutes past UK. As I say, that gold is not, we're not involved with gold this morning because it can make a move at around about 7 AM, but you save it. Well, one thing, you're actually safer with Forex pairs because they tend not to make those vast moves.
Right. What happened at 2 o'clock this morning?
On gold?
No, on the NZD pairs.
All right.
Yeah.
So what was that news related, or?
I don't know. I've been trying to find out.
Yeah. Well, I'll go to a New Zealand pair. So yeah, it went up. Is that the move you're talking about?
Yeah, about 170 pips.
Blimey. Yeah. Well, this strategy is all about the manipulation that goes on at round about this time of day to get price to where they want it to be. We've actually come to the end of this 6 AM candle, so we can now start to put things in position. Now, first of all, I'm on Euro New Zealand. I'm looking to place these trend lines. Now, if I look at the top of that wick there, and then I look to the left, there is no previous high. So all I'm going to do is put a horizontal line across the top of that. That's almost horizontal as it stands at the minute.
Yeah, Rich, sorry to butt in again, mate.
Yeah.
Do you only look at this on the 15-minute candle, or do you go down to the 5? Because I mean, obviously, I've been successful on it more or less every day, and I've just been on the 5 minutes. So yeah, I wondered what you thought was best.
Yeah. Well, what I do is I do the setup on the 15-minute as I'm doing now. I'm on the 15-minute chart, but in a minute I'll be changing down to the 5-minute chart. I find that you sometimes get an earlier entry on the 5-minute.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. All right, no worries.
But because we're dealing Forex pairs, I'm going to flip backwards and forwards between the 5 and the 15. I'll just do this part of the setup first, and then we're not losing out. So what we need to do is we need to move this. So we're looking at the bottom of that 1 o'clock candle, and we need to move to the nearest lower to the left. So I'm going to put that on there. I find if I put the magnet tool on, it helps me snap to the position like that. And then I need to, this is looking really tight, isn't it? So it's going to be quite a small, need to move it up a bit more there. I think that's more or less in play. You don't have to be 100% accurate. It's really just a guide to to help you get the trade. So what the process is, I've got my lines in place. What you could do is to set an alert. And what I would do is I would set an alert on the 15-minute chart and an alert on the 5-minute chart. And basically what I would do is just click on the alert there. I would go to Ninjacator version 3. I would select an up and down alert once per bar and click create. I'm not going to do it now because I'm going to sit and watch, but you could, if you wanted to, walk away and simply come back to the screen when you've actually got a Ninja, because basically what we're looking at is if price goes above the green line and we've got a Ninja up, then we look at taking a trade. If price comes below the red line and we've got a Ninja down, again, we consider getting into a trade. So I've set up Euro New Zealand. I just need to do something similar. I need to do exactly the same actually for the other 3 pairs. So I'll make that horizontal and I'll just drag it slightly down. So it needs to touch the top of the 6 a.m. wick, and that's in place. This is looking very similar to the previous pair. We just need to drag that up. So that's snapped to the bottom of the previous wick, and we just need to drag that up.
Do you try to trade in all 4 pairs at once, Rich, or
no? If I get a signal on one of the pairs, that's the pair I go with. I don't try and do.
No, I tried a couple the other day. It got a bit hectic, so I just went back down to 1. You know.
Yeah. That's a point that was raised by somebody yesterday. They were saying they were struggling to cope with all 4 pairs, and my reply really was, just go. You know, if you want to go for 1 or 2, it's a lot easier to manage. And basically, if you just look at the pairs that I'm looking at, I've got them here. We've got 4 potential pairs, but you've got duplication. So you wouldn't, for instance, want to be in Euro Aussie and Euro New Zealand at the same time anyway, and you wouldn't want to be in GBP, the 2 GBP pairs. You wouldn't want to be in 2 Aussie pairs, and you wouldn't want to be in 2 New Zealand pairs. So you need to select. You need to be more selective. And if you literally chose 1 and went for that every day, your chances of a winning trade are just as high as if you were trying to monitor all 4. So yeah, it's a good point. I'm not suggesting that anybody starts chasing all 4. Just need to go right. So
wouldn't you? I mean, that would be a dangerous situation, surely, wouldn't it? If you were on the same pair,
yes,
same currency. If something goes wrong with that currency, it affects all the other ones.
That's right. And so you need to avoid getting into 2 trades that involve 1 currency pair. We've always said that. And so we're trading 4. Well, I'm showing you 4, but I would recommend that you only go for 1 or 2. I go for the first one to trigger.
You know, when you flick to the 5-minute candle, Richard, after you've set it all up, if you then see a Ninja up, do you use that one on the 6 o'clock candle?
Providing it satisfied the other criteria.
Yeah. FX, is it FXCM? Wait a second. Why I've got it on this, I don't know, but FXCM, GBP, NZD, that's actually got, you know,
let me
Ninja
just
up on the 6 o'clock, and it's like, okay, do we take notice of that?
Well, what I need to do is put the Ninjacator on, and you can see that the latest Ninja up was at 2 o'clock this morning. It's been heading north ever since. I wouldn't get into, well, obviously it's price hasn't gone above the green line, so I wouldn't consider getting in until it was above the green line.
Yeah, no, it's on the GBP NZD.
Okay.
Richard,
So
where you put that red line, that's on the bottom of the previous lower low.
yeah.
Why did you move it to where you moved it to on the 8 o'clock candle? What was the criteria that?
Well, that I mean, you can actually drag it out if you I mean, it's just for, but what the main thing I'm looking at is I'm looking to get a touch on the bottom of the 6 o'clock candle.
Right.
So I'm trying to get 2 touches, one on the previous one, which was lower, and one on the 6 o'clock candle. It really doesn't matter where that's got to touch that wick there. It's touching that wick there. It's extended beyond the 8 o'clock, which is fine.
Right.
But I just my neat little mind, I just sort of say, well, there's.
So you put it on the lower low to the left.
Yeah.
And then trace the line through the next lower one on the right.
I'm focusing on this 6 o'clock candle.
Right.
It's a 15-minute candle, and I'm working on the top of the top wick to the bottom of the bottom wick.
Okay.
And I'm in this case, I'm trying to get 2 touches. And in this case, because there was no, if you look left, there was no previous high, so we just do a horizontal line.
Okay. Thank
so
you.
let me just go through the 4 pairs just to make sure I've lined them up properly. Your NZD, that's okay. GBP, that's okay. They're looking very similar, aren't they, this morning?
They are.
We just need to do this one. So that one needs to be dragged down. No. Get that out of the way. I just need to drag this one down to the top of that red candle, top of the red wick. That's in place. And then I need to drag this. So that's the 6 a.m. candle. So I wanted to touch the previous wick and the 6 a.m. candle. I've got my magnet on, so once I get anywhere near, it snaps to the wick. That saves me a job. And then I need to just take that and touch the bottom of the wick of the 6 o'clock candle. And that's more or less in place. As I said before, you don't need to be 100% accurate. It just needs to give, you just need a rough idea. So we've got everything in place. If you want to set your alarms, you can set an alarm on the 15-minute and then go to the 5-minute chart and set an alarm on the 5-minute chart. I tend to take my trades on the 5-minute purely because we get an earlier entry. So we've got a Ninja up on this pair, but it's still below the green line. I'm going to run back through them. This is a bit where people say that they get.
Oh, and there's a Euro NZD Ninja down.
Okay. So we've got a previous Ninja up, but again we're not above the green line. NZD. Right. So we've got a Ninja down, and we're below the green. We're below the red line. So that's a contender. I'm not going to say I'm definitely getting in, but that does now satisfy my criteria. I'm looking for price to either be above the green line or below the red line. This is below the red line, and we've had an indicator down. Now, the other thing that I quite often do, we're on the 5-minute chart, so that candle is a 5-minute candle. We are 2 minutes in, just over 2 minutes into that candle. I would wait just to make sure that that Ninja doesn't unpaint itself, I would give it a few more seconds. I would wait at least until it was halfway through, which it is now. We're 2 minutes 30 into that candle. So I'm just going to look at the MAs. Now, the thing that would stop me personally getting in right now is that the 5 moving average, which is the yellow line, hasn't quite crossed the 13 moving average, which is that green line that turned red. It looks like it will be, but it hasn't quite made it. Now, if we had access to the multi-time frame stochastic, which we don't, as we mentioned earlier, I would double check what's happening with the time frame, multi-time frames. I'll be looking for confirmation on the multi-time frame that this was actually going to continue down. You see the latest dot on the AOMACD was red. It's heading downwards. But personally, I'm not 100% convinced this is going to happen until this 5 MA moves and actually crosses over the 13 MA. So that's just how I think about it. That's what goes through my head. I think it probably will go down, but I'm not convinced 100% just yet. So I would look at the other pairs right now. I wouldn't jump into that at the minute. Euro odd, now that hasn't made its move. That what I see when I look at that is we're in between the 2 lines. I call that no man's land. No, that's no trade land. We're not going to get into any trade in those circumstances. I'm also just thinking out loud. I've got a 50 moving average down here, and I've got a 200 moving average below it and an 800 moving average. So basically the average price, excuse me, the average, all of the averages are actually below the current price. So that gives me a gut feeling that price is going to move back down towards the average. Doesn't happen every time, but that's just another probability. So we're just waiting for this price to get below the red line. And for the, I tend to look at the moving averages as another confirmation. So that's one. Right, so we've now got a second candle. I'm feeling better about this one now, but I'm still not seeing the 5 minute, sorry, the 5 moving average cross over the 13 moving average. So again, I would just stay out of that for now. It's looking the favourite so far. GBP AUD.
Hi, Richard.
Hi.
Just a quickie.
Yeah.
Would you drop down to the 3? Because if you stick it on the 3 on the Euro NZD, you've got green candles just now.
Right. Okay. So I'm going to go down to the 3. Yeah, we've had a green candle. So that sort of confirms my hesitation. Although on the 3 minute, the 5 MA has moved below the 13 MA. So we're in a little bit of indecision. It's really confirming my reluctance to get in just now. I think it will go down that way, but you know, we've got time. It's 6:30, and in most cases, not every case, but in most cases, we need to be nearer to 7 AM to get a big move. I'm reluctant to say that because it's going to shoot down now in a minute just to prove me wrong. But you see, the gap is widening on the 3 minute. We go to the 5 minute. We're still on a red candle. So that's looking of the ones we've looked at so far. That's looking my favourite contender. And going back to what I said before about not getting in 4 trades. That is looking like it might be the trade that I take today. It could change, but there we've got another. Now, the thing that would stop me getting into that one is the PSAR is below the price. We've got a Ninja up, not a Ninja down. So that, again, I'm going to stay out of. So I'm going to go back to Euro NZD. This is satisfying my criteria. We've got a PSAR above the price. we've got the price below the red line, we've got a ninja down, and I'm just sort of waiting for that 5 moving average to make its move below the 13. That is looking like my favorite. So what I would do is I will get this up on my MT4. I'll get it set up. I will get set up, ready to push the button. Bear with me 1 second. Okay, so no, they're still on top of each other. It hasn't cleared it sufficiently for my personal taste. It is starting to move down on my NT4. It is actually moving down in price. So you could be tempted to get in. It's popped its head, or it's popped its feet below the yellow's popped its popped below the red slightly, but I'm still going to wait. Anybody who gets in before me might make a few extra pips, but I'm not greedy.
Anybody locked out of the stochastic this morning?
I've looked this morning, but they're not available at the minute. And I said right at the outset, I'm reluctant to contact Kevin because he's on holiday in Florida. But it could be down to the fact that it might have expired. He sets a time, an expiry date.
That's what it is, I think. Yeah.
So 1st of July. So I presume he's set an expiry date of the 30th of June. So
as an alternative, Richard, we could always use the ordinary stochastic.
Yes.
Which gives the same information. It just isn't all on the same time frame.
Yeah. Well, if we go to strategies, yeah, if you just go on stochastics, where are we? Why didn't that appear? I'll tell you what, I'll take this off. For some reason, that doesn't want to know either, but that could be me. Yeah, that's quite a valid point, Helen. You can just use a normal stochastic, which is on indicators. Yeah, so my hesitation has been confirmed because we've now got a green candle. There we are. There's a stochastic. I've got it twice now. So there's a normal stochastic. On the 5 minute, we are heading down to the bottom, but not quite in the extreme yet. So that's not quite the confirmation I was looking for, but it does confirm that I was right to stay out of that trade when I took that decision. Yeah, there's just a bit of reluctance. If we look, excuse me, I'm losing my voice. If I look at the 15-minute chart, that this changes to the 15-minute stochastic. Now price is in the extreme at the top, so it looks as if on the 15-minute chart we could well be going to head down shortly. The AO MACD is turning. It was going up, and now it's starting to turn down. But it's just a bit of indecision. On the 15-minute stochastic, the PSAR is still below the price. So it's in a sort of an in-between state at the minute. On the 5 minute, we're pointing down. On the 15, we're not quite pointing down. So what I would do at this point, we've got 3 minutes left on this 5 minute candle. I'm going to do a quick run through the others, see what I can see. I need to get rid of these. You can sometimes be misled if you don't keep resetting the chart, because it looks to be flatlining when it's not. So that's still in no man's land. I'm not interested in that one. We've just looked at Euro NZ. We'll look at the GBP pairs. That's starting to look as if it might be going above the line, but it's not going above the line yet. The P-size below, we had an indicator up, but it's not ready yet. It hasn't crossed the line. And we're below both the lines on that one, but we've got green candles. So there's nothing happening other than potentially Euro NZD, and that's having a think about it. So I've got a message there from Malcolm asking me about Discord. That's where Discord, where the Discord signal was, Malcolm, in Discord under live trading sessions. That's where we place all the links to. So David was on Thursday, Brian was on Thursday evening. I put that in this morning.
Yeah, I got it, Richard. I got onto Facebook, but because it was streaming live, you were on Facebook, and then I got off that and got onto Zoom.
Yeah, right, okay. So I don't know about the other live trades, but I always put it in Discord first and then copy it into Zoom. Every now and again, Facebook doesn't allow me to stream, but it let me do it this morning. Facebook's okay. a bit erratic on Facebook. Right, so anybody got any other questions while we wait for this to make its mind up?
Just a quickie, Richard. The volume indicator with all the bars on, how do you get rid of that? It's not on your chart, but it.
Yeah, I just took it off this morning when I was preparing. So are you talking about there's one there which has now appeared on my screen there, and it's just actually appeared down the bottom there. Is that the one you're talking about?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so you just go to indicators. I'll take it off and then I'll put it back on again. Indicators. If you click on there's two parts to that button. You've got the indicators and you've got the favorites. I've actually got that indicator in my favorites, so I'll just click on that first and put it. It's the same method as you use down this one for the favorites at the bottom. Yeah. So if you've already, you see that one there is already on my favorites. Now let's assume it wasn't on my favorites. If I click on indicators, metrics and strategies, and if I just type in there on the search button volume, we should get the same thing. So there it is, volume, and because I've already clicked on the red star, it's in my favorites. But if you click on that, it'll appear on your screen anyway.
That you can only have so many indicators depending on the level of money that you pay. Yes,
that's correct. Yeah, yeah. But there's nothing to stop you. I was about to say something I'm not 100% sure, but on just make sure we're not missing out on any trades. What I've done, you see here, the current chart that I'm looking at is this Euro NZD. I've also got here next to it another chart, which happens to be on gold. That's my volume profile on gold. How I've done that is I've gone, you see here where you've got, it says, if you click on that arrow, well, if you hover over the arrow, it says manage chart layouts. I'll click on that, and you can load a new chart. I can on the I've got a paid version, so I can load several charts. If I click on that, I've actually got two charts on here that I can put on.
Okay.
And you can have, what I was leading up to was you can have different indicators on different charts. So you can get around the limit on indicators by having more than one chart, but I need to test that out. If what I'm thinking is, if they've limited the number of indicators on one chart, they might also limit your number of charts that you can have, but that is a potential way around it. Right, okay, so we're now back to a red candle. The yellow 5 MA is below slightly below the 13 MA. The PSAR's above, we've still got the Ninja down. So I'm not convinced. So I'll look at the 3 minute, see what's going on the 3 minute. Yeah, that's looking a bit more promising. We've got the 5 MA below the 13 MA. It's not moving away as I would like to see it doing. In the past, I might have been tempted to get into that trade now. The way I think these days, I think, look, we're looking at 4 pairs. It's a little bit early. It's not even 6:45 yet. There's time for things to happen. So I'm not in any rush to get into a trade. And that's the way I'm thinking. That's my mindset at the minute. So I'm going to hesitate a little bit longer, but what I'll do is I'll point out, if I get into this trade, where am I going to set my stop loss and where am I going to set my take profit? Now, on the 3 minute chart, we've got a PSAR above, and I would set a stop loss just above that PSAR, and I would set my take profit at that 550 moving average, because price is likely to at least hesitate when it gets there. It might smash through it, but it's more likely to bounce off it. Just have a quick look at the 5 minute chart. Similar situation, quite a tight stop loss. Only a few pips there between, we'll just measure it, shall we? Whilst we're waiting for something to happen. If you put it there and go down to where price is now, that's a 14 pip stop loss. So I would be going for about 14 pip stop loss, but I would be going for a take profit of around about 39 pips. So a good risk to reward there. So that would be my take profit initially. And then if it smashed through it, I would get into another trade, and that would be my next take profit. So I use the MAs for my take profits, and I use the PSARs for the stop loss. I tend to, although I did say that when I measured that, I said it was about 12 pips. I tend to go for 10, to be fair. I would go for 10 and then look at that and say, well, that's more like 30 to me. It was actually 39, I think, but I would go for like 30 pip stop, 30 pip take profit, 10 pip stop loss, just to keep things in balance. Okay, so it's starting to look better. I might be tempted to get in. Let me just
Ninja down on GN as well, Richard.
Okay. Well, they do tend to work in unison. Here we go. Ninja down. Some reason I've lost my rectangle, but yeah. Well, I've lost all. Oh, there we go. Right. So GN's another contender. We've got a Ninja down. We've got a PSAR on top. We've got the 5 below the 13. So yes, those two are good.
Yeah, Rich, I got in on Euro NZD a little while ago. I'm about a couple of pips up on that, but I got into GBP AUD as well, like for a buy, but that went against me 15 pips just now. I've just pulled out, so bit of a setback already.
Which GB?
Why did you get in that one for a buy?
Because there was another green candle above the green line.
Okay, I don't see that.
Yeah, it's on the 5 minute as well. but they all seem to be following suit this morning. Oh well.
Yeah, that's it. Well, certainly the pair, you know, the two New Zealand pairs tend to follow each other, and the two Aussie pairs tend to follow each other.
Yeah.
So I've just got in this euro.
Is London actually open? Does it open at 7 o'clock?
I think I'm right in saying the European market opens at 7, but the London market opens at 8.
Yeah.
Germany opens at 7.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. So I'm in Euro NZD, and it's slightly in profit. GBP NZD is looking good. All right, so that's not looking good. That's
You're basically looking for the ninja down, aren't you? The red going down.
well, yeah. You look for a ninja down if the price is below the red line. You look for a ninja up if price is above the green line. So Euro Aussie is there's nothing happening there. It's straddling the line, so I'm not interested in that.
In the markets all jumped up during the early hours.
Yes.
And this is all consolidating just now. And they're just waiting to see who's going to stick stops left, right, and centre on the basis that it is going to drop. And it probably will, but it might just fiddle around before it does it.
Yeah, and it's left a lot of imbalance as well.
It will drop, obviously, but when?
Yeah, it's just knowing when.
Everything's retracing away.
That one just shot down. Yeah, GBP NZD is we've got a bit of a green candle there on the 5-minute, and Euro NZD is moving slowly. As I say, I'm stop loss. If you want a safe stop loss, you put it just above that PSR. My first take profit would be just above that 50 moving average. So whilst I'm waiting for something to happen, I'm just going to go back through the pairs again. Euro odd. That's still in no man's land. I wouldn't get into that. Euro NZD, that's the one we're looking at. We've got a small green candle. I'll look at the 3-minute, see what's happening. Yeah. Just got a slight red candle there. GBP AUD. Still in no man's land. So the British pairs are, sorry, the Aussie pairs are still in no man's land. It's the New Zealand pairs that are looking best, looking favourite. Right, well, I'm in profit on Euro New Zealand.
I'm in profit on GBP New Zealand.
Yeah, me too.
I'm in the Euro NZD, so hey.
Yeah,
And it is moving
I've
nicely now.
gone 9 pips. Here we go.
Yeah, I got 10 on Euro NZD and my exit manager's kicked in now.
Yep, got my 10. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I've got my 10. I'm happy with that. That's me done for the day. Thank you very much.
Can we all go back to bed now, please?
Well, I'm going to stay on till 7. I normally finish on the hour. I'd be interested to see how far this goes. Be quite happy if it actually went down to that 50 moving average, and then my thoughts have been confirmed. But anyway, that's how we rock on Crossfire. And if you get your lot size right, 10 pips is enough. So let's have a quick look at the other pairs. The GBP NZD is motoring quite nicely.
Would you consider getting into another one once you've successfully done one, or are you like,
No,
nah, I'm done?
No, my mindset now is I set my lot size so that if I get 10 pips on the first trade, that's me done for the day. I've made my target for today. I mean, I do sometimes use a demo account to take other trades, particularly if I'm on the afternoon session, the Crossfire session. I might want to take a trade just for, to scratch that itch. But I've actually finished trading for today because I've made my 10 pips on the first trade. And I can walk away, but because I'm teaching these strategies 2-3 times a week, I need to keep my hand in, and I will probably take a demo trade in the afternoon session, probably on gold, because that's my favorite pair. But as far as proper trading is concerned, no, I'm finished.
Yeah, get your 10 pips, take your profit, and then just move your stop loss. That's what I tend to do.
Well, yes, yeah, that's.
If you get a little bit extra, then that's lunch paid for, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you've got to get into a mindset where you're satisfied with one trade a day. Whatever, without getting into cash figures. Try and get your lot size sufficiently high to give you your target earnings out of 10 pips, maybe a little bit more. But
it's what Paul says, Richard. He says, don't be greedy. That's the problem. Greed cops in, and
yeah,
you lose.
That's right. I mean, the way I'm thinking now is that I've made sufficient money today. I've made my target for today. Why would I want to risk that?
Yeah.
By getting in another trade. I've no intentions of getting in another trade on a live account anyway.
No.
Right. So GBP AUD has changed its mind. It's below the red line. However, the PSR is below the price, so I'm not interested. The latest Ninja was a Ninja up, so I would want a Ninja down, and I would want the PSR to be on top, and I would want these moving averages to be moving away from each other. So that might be setting up, but it's not. It's of no interest to me at the minute. We'll go back to NZD. Now that's turned around. So aren't I glad that I got out when I did? I'm so glad I was satisfied with 10 pips, because otherwise I would be, well, I wouldn't be in drawdown just yet, but I'd be in less profit than I was. Well, Euro AUD. Right, so Euro AUD we've got a Ninja down, but price is still straddling the red line. PSR is above. And the two moving averages are on top of each other. So that's looking like it might go our way, but it's not ready yet. Okay, so we've had two pairs that have made 10-pip moves and then started to reverse. I mean, there still might be another trade in that. I still suspect it'll go down to this 50. So that was a Euro NZD, which I got my 10 pips out of. The GBP NZD is exactly the same. You could have got your 10 pips there, but it's now starting to reverse. And the Aussie pairs are looking as if they might be setting up for a sell. Ninja down, price below, PSAR above, and the yellow moving average is below the red moving average. I wouldn't get in just yet because I'm not convinced. And I think the GBP AUD is likely to be the same. Yes, PSAR above, slightly higher above on that one. The further away the PSAR is from price, the stronger the momentum. So if I was going to choose one of these Aussie pairs, I would go for the British pound. There's my take profit, there's my stop loss. But as I'm not going to get involved in any more trades. I'm perfectly happy. Any final questions? Because I'm coming up to the hour, and I'm.
He wants his breakfast.
Well, yes, I want my breakfast, but I also don't think for me to go in any longer than an hour is well, it's not necessary because
Not necessary, is it?
Yeah.
No, you can. It's like anything. If you can do the job in half an hour, that's it. Bang, you're done.
that's ideal. But you know, as I said earlier, my intention is not to become a signal provider. I'm trying to get you to be able to take these trades on your own, and I've said everything I need to say.
You're doing a great job, Richard.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yes, you are.
Yeah, 100%.
It's taken a while, I have to say. I've been in Paul's group for a long time, and I've had a fair amount of success, but nowadays I think it's more to do with my mindset than anything else. And the fact that I try to only trade one strategy and one pair, it's turned my fortunes around. So I'm much more successful than I was, but that wasn't always the case, which is why I'm happy to try and teach other people, because I can short circuit your journey.
How long have you been doing it, Richard?
I'm reluctant to say. Well, Paul's had the group for about 5 years, and I think I was
early in.
I was early doors in the group.
Okay.
Probably about 4 years, I think.
No, I'm just looking, you know, from my point of view, not 6 months in yet, and I'm seeing all sorts of things. And as Paul says, you know, you can get a bit overwhelmed, and this doesn't happen, and then you keep losing trades, and you know.
Yeah, well, that all comes with practice. You need experience, you need practice, and you know, I think I've just proved this morning that with certain, you know, I've got what I think is a really simple, straightforward strategy. I have rules that I apply and rules that I stick to, and it works for me. You know, I can't say anymore. It's
you know what they say. You know what they say, Richard. You find out what the rules are. You play by the rules, and you win.
That's
if
right.
you find out what the rules are and you break the rules, you will lose.
Yeah. And there's all kinds of reasons why you break the rules, because you think, well, it's my rule anyway, so I made the rule. I can bend it.
Yes.
As James Leone says, you're overthinking. Stop thinking.
Yeah.
Just Richard.
Yeah.
So just say going back to say Nick's trade that didn't work.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's time to do it, but was all your points in line when he put that in? You know, the cross of the 5, the 13, the PSAR, boom. Was everything tickety-boo? Because as you say, unless you are diligent, strict, and it's like a robot,
Yes.
You can always do another trade.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I've had a lot more success actually since I've got a whiteboard just behind where I sit, and I have 5 rules down, and I go, okay, does it do that, and that's from James Leon going, right, is it a 3 out of 5, is it a 5 out of 5, and nowadays just go, nah, you know what, yeah, I'll wait for a 5 out of 5.
Nice.
Yeah.
There's
I'm seeing this more as like, you know, we're training for a marathon. Richard, you took a few years to train for the marathons,
yeah.
and now you're winning the marathons. It took a while to figure out the formula.
Yeah.
Now it's working.
Yeah. It's working, but there's no reason it can't work for you, because you've got the bone. It's the strategy that's winning. It's not Richard Costello that's winning.
Yeah.
The strategy
Yeah.
is winning. I'm posting the charts in the chat in Discord every day, and it's not 100%, but it's not far off 100%. So you could have taken any one of these 4 trades this morning. I mean, we're only halfway through. It's only 7 o'clock. There's still another hour to go. These Aussie pairs may well become successful trades, but even without that, we're on 50%. With 2 out of the 4 have been winners, and I'm suspecting that these Aussie pairs will reverse. I don't need them to, because I've now got my pips, and that's my strategy. I'm done. But you know, if you were late getting on, and you missed the move that I got, this one is another potential one. And if you miss those 2, there's another 4 potentials, well, 5 potentials in the afternoon Crossfire session. And then
What are the 4, Richard, that you look at in the afternoon?
Let me just
the Canadian ones, I know, but
let me just find my was it on VP? I had it on the screen for when I started, and I'm not quite sure where it
was. It EuroCAD, Euro USD, GCAD, and GBP USD?
Yeah, I'm just trying to show it visually. Well, maybe it was your NZD. I had it on the screen.
Your 1 o'clock session, Richard, on those boxes is EuroCAD, Euro USD, GBP CAD, and GBP USD, and of course gold and USD.
Yeah. I don't know where it's disappeared. Let me just quickly flick through before I shoot off.
It's on the British pound, New Zealand dollar 15-minute chart.
For some reason, it's not showing up, but neither is my. Oh, there we go. There we go. So those are the pairs that I look at, and I don't know if you want to take a screenshot, but I put them on.
Yeah,
these are the 6 o'clock ones. These are the 5, because I trade gold at 1 o'clock, and I just put a note in there. I've updated the workbook recently, so you might want to look at version 2 of the workbook, and there's definitely one. There's probably 2 videos.
Yeah, I've just started I'm just about to start a new funded account, so I want to look at the pairs for the 1 p.m. 3 p.m. because I do like this. Obviously, I like the strategy, so it's just, but you've got to be there's that balance between liking something and it being suited to a funded. So
yeah,
you only need 0.5% a day.
Some of them you've just got to go for 0.25% a trade, to be honest with that.
Yep.
What's it called? God, I can't even remember which one it is. There's one and it's only a 3% drawdown, and it's insane how close you can get to it so easily, you know. It's like, oops. So, and it was David Eisenhoff actually, and he said, just go down to 0.25%. What's your problem? I went, oh,
Was that trading fund?
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
It's 3% a day, 6% overall.
Yeah, and it's so, oh, there you are. It's a good job I was saying good things about you, David, isn't it? You're on. So, no, and that has been perfect. That percentage, absolutely spot on. And you know what? Just yesterday, I tried to be a little adventurous, and it was like, oh no, back to 0.25%.
If anyone's going to do the funded trade, that particular prop firm, people have probably seen I've uploaded the list for TradingView, because some of the pairs are quite difficult to find, some of the indices, if you're going to use those.
Thanks,
All right,
David.
Thank you.
Thank you, Richard. I have to go.
I'm going to call
I'll catch
an
up with you later, and thank you for all your help.
No, not a problem at all.
Yeah, thank you, Richard.
So thanks for jumping on. It's Friday. I think Brian's on this evening. Paul's on again Monday morning. I'm on Tuesday at 1 o'clock. So thanks for jumping on. I'll see you next week.
Thank you, Richard.
Okay,
Cheers, Richard. Thank you.
Cheers, Richard. Thank you.
Have a good weekend.
Cheers now.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Ciao.